There'll never be no comparison. You're live on the show. Sit back and have a listen. LDBC, this is your boy Coach Shelton Harrison. You're live on the Coach Shelton Harrison Boxing and MMA Show Live. Okay, guys, old cue ball head is at it again, okay? Crystal clean is the man, Dana White behind that shine. Is it clean or is it his cue ball ass head? Yeah, it's his cue ball head, okay? But Dana White is at it again, y'all. Listen, man, Dana White saying he had the nerve to come out and say that Cyborg is getting the same opportunities as Ronda Rousey. Oh, really? Really? I mean, okay, people, we got to get one thing straight right now, okay? Dana White is a businessman, okay? Through and through, it's going to always be about money, okay? And people, we got to understand that. We have to understand that. See, I've taken the time to read 5 MMA contracts. 3 of those are UFC. And let me tell you something. Most of those contracts, they start out at 20 pages, okay? The longest one I read was 35 pages long. And I'm going to tell you something right now, y'all. These contracts are very specific. They're very specific on how these fighters are paid and endorsements, everything. Even on down to, what moves are in the video games. Like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy that these contracts are so detailed, man. But the UFC, they have rights to everything. And when if an endorsement company want to come talk to a fighter, they can't just talk to the fighter. They have to actually talk to the UFC first. They have to talk to Dana White. And then Dana White, they will talk to the endorsement company. And they kind of regulate how much money UFC gets, how much money the fighter's going to get, how much. See, it's all broken down in these contracts. But what happens is, see, since these kind of things are regulated by Dana White, of course they're regulated. Okay, because he knows what's going on. How many times, how many companies do you think has come to him about Cris Cyborg and say, hey, we want to really, we want to endorse Cris Cyborg? I'm sure there's a lot of companies because Cris Cyborg is a household name. I'm sorry. People know who Cris Cyborg is. They know. I mean, even if you've been around MMA a short time, everybody knows Cris Cyborg, this indestructible force that nobody wants to fight. I even got kids, man, little small kids at 10 years old. They know Cyborg. So let's get that out of everybody's head that Cyborg isn't known and isn't marketable. Oh, she marketable. The thing of it is, see, since, okay, these organizations, man, they regulate these sponsorships. They regulate it. So, I mean, Dana White got the power to really push this girl forward. I'm going to tell you why, guys. Cris Cyborg is bad for business. And I hate talking about this because I'm a fighter. I hate talking about business. I just want to see people fight. But we got to discuss this. Cyborg is very, very bad for business. Look at what Cyborg did to Lena Landsberg. Now, now let me think like a fighter again, okay? When you have an eye injury, okay? And Lena Landsberg suffered a very, very bad eye injury. Okay, the doctor, they're going to tell you you can't spar or get hit in your eye, your face for 2 to 3 months. So you're out of action right now. I mean, you're done. That's 2 to 3 months gone right there. And then when you're able to spar again, they're going to tell you for another 2 months you can't get hit in the head. Because the injury still hasn't completely fully healed the way the doctor wants you to. That's 5 months. Then, when you can fully get in there and start doing things, you have to have a training camp. Training camps last sometimes from 6 to 8 weeks. So now do you understand that these fighters, and especially these women, they have to fight more frequently than the men because they don't make the kind of money. And when you got Cyborg over here putting these girls out for 6 to 8 months at a time, these women, they can't make their income, and in turn, Dana White can't make the money off of them. This dude living pretty, man, off of everybody. I mean, he making more money than every single fighter in it, and he ain't taking no punishment. It kind of baffles me, man. And if all these fighters just decided to walk one day, man, I'm telling you, the fighters don't know that they got the power, man. They have all the power. They hold the cards. But unfortunately, enough of these guys don't want to walk, man. They won't do it. And this guy can do better, man. This guy can do better, but nah, man, this dude want to keep all the money in-house. And you have a lot of fighters like Floyd Mayweather. They even spoke out about this and said, man, that Dana White don't treat these guys correctly, man. He can pay them. They could get paid much more than what they're getting. Because when you think about the UFC as a brand, hell, they sold the company for $4 billion. That ought to tell you, okay? But everything's in the contract, y'all. Everything. They even got the salary set for third and fourth fights. I mean, it's ridiculous, man. Like, so these people, they're in contracts, but the contracts, the salaries are set. And they even get a percentage. They tell you how much pay-per-view ends that you can get. Okay, and then they tell you what your pay-per-view revenue cannot exceed. So basically, you get a flat rate for pay-per-view. If the pay-per-view exceeds a certain amount, well, you're not going to get any more than what you get. I mean, it's crazy how some of these contracts are scripted, man. But a lot of these fighters, man, they go for it. So I guess it's on them, man. I guess it's on them. But still, man, she bad for business, man. And could you imagine him putting Cyborg in the ring with Ronda Rousey? Okay, Holly Holm kicked her in the face and knocked her out. She was gone for 12 months. What do you think going to happen if Cyborg really get her hands on Cyborg? I mean, if Cyborg gets her hands on Ronda Rousey, what do you think's going to happen? Ronda Rousey may be gone anywhere from 18 to 24 months, or Cyborg may retire Ronda Rousey. That's why this fight isn't going to happen. Don't listen to Dana White about, well, the fight could happen. No. You got to think dollars and cents when it comes to this bald-headed bastard. You got to think dollars and cents. And if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense to Dana White. He's not going to go and buy into it. He's not going to put his prize fighter in the ring with a person that's keeping him out for 6 to 8 months. He ain't going to do that. Okay? And I'm telling some of you people, man, you got to start understanding how this dude think, okay? Don't get shocked, man. Some people get upset. I stopped getting upset now. I understand what this dude motive is money. Ronda Rousey can say, I want to fight Cyborg all she wants. She can say that. Dana White will let that fight happen when it's time to cash out. That means when Ronda is of no usefulness anymore, when it's time to cash her out, then let's put her in the ring with Cris Cyborg. That's how this thing works, okay? Let me show you some possible opponents, man, because, see, Cyborg said that Dana White won't even make a division for her. He said, man, you know, it's not fair. She can't even make a division. Cyborg has a time getting down to 140, man. She ain't trying to do that no more, man. She not trying to do that, okay? And some of these girls at 135, man, they walk around heavy. Ronda Rousey is a big girl. Ronda Rousey is a big girl, man. She walk around heavy as hell. And Ronda Rousey got to lose a lot of weight to make these fights. She got to cut weight too, man. It's hard for her too. So it's totally asinine to say, okay, let's meet at 140, Dana White. It's asinine. It's completely asinine to say let's meet at 140 when Ronda Rousey, big balloon bloated self, can meet at 145. How you going to explain this? Okay? The thing of it is, man, the purpose, if they were to fight, is to make Cyborg as uncomfortable as possible. Because if Cyborg is comfortable, of course, they got to give Ronda Rousey every advantage, guys. This is fighting 101, okay? I'm not teaching you stuff. This is stuff that if you're a fight fan, you should know these things, okay? Ronda Rousey has to have an advantage over Cyborg. They can't fight on the even playing field. Because I say Cyborg get rid of Ronda Rousey in round 1. I say that, okay? But, you know, that's subject for another video. Okay, I want you to look at the possible fights that Cyborg can have. I want you guys to take a look at this real quick. Okay, these are 3 top opponents who I think that would give Cyborg probably the most trouble at 145. They comfortably campaign at 145, okay? All right, the first person on this list is Julia Budd. I think Julia Budd is an excellent kicker. I think she's a great kicker. She's a decent striker, and she's very, very tough and rugged, man. Her notable wins came, you know, from Charmaine Twait and Arlene Blenko. And her notable losses, she lost to Ronda Rousey and Amanda Nunes. But, you know, those fights were at 135 because Ronda Rousey and Amanda, they fight at 135. And she lost to 2 world-class opponents, okay? So, you know, she's got experience. She's been in the ring with some good fighters. And she can definitely give Cris Cyborg a run for her money. Now, does she beat Cyborg? No. I don't think she can beat Cyborg. I don't think so. But I think that she would give Cyborg a tough fight for at least 2 or 3 rounds anyway, okay? Before Cyborg would, you know, end up, you know, using her mauling tactic to win the fight. The next one is Latoya Walker, and hopefully soon, she's got to check her schedule with me. I'm trying to have her on the show. Latoya Walker is very tough. I still think that she's a little bit one-dimensional. I think she relies more on her punches, more so than, you know, her ground game, which I think she can be really good at the ground game, man. I think they need to work that a bit more, but she's very rough and tough, man. And this girl can take a punch. Her notable win came from Gabrielle Holloway. Her notable loss came from Charmaine Twait. And if you guys remember that notable loss, man, Charmaine Twait delivered a spinning back fist, man. I'm talking about that spinning back fist, man. It dropped Latoya Walker. Now, I disagree with the stoppage. I completely disagree because Latoya Walker was stunned, but she was not incoherent. She was actually moving. She was trying to get back up, and the referee just stopped the fight. And Charmaine Twait started trying to hit her with these hammer fists. Latoya Walker was doing a good job defensively, moving and getting out of the way and trying to block it and doing. I mean, that's what the hell you're supposed to do when you're on the ground. I mean, I don't understand, man. The referee was just looking to stop the fight, and that's what he did, man. That's what he did, and that's just the way that is. That's just the way that is, okay? Um, but I think Latoya Walker could probably go the distance. I think she's tough and durable enough to do it, but I don't think she possesses the skill set right now to defeat a Cris Cyborg. But it would still be a very good fight between two tough people, okay? The person who I think that's got the puncher's chance out of all of these people, and to me, this is the most raw talent. I think she raw. This is Megan Anderson, the Australian girl. Her notable win came from Peggy Morgan. Her notable loss came from the veteran Cindy Dandois. Cindy Dandois is not a very big girl, but she's very technical. Cindy is extremely technical, and she lost to a good opponent. I think Cindy Dandois is probably going to go down as probably one of those better fighters who you just don't know anything about. But she's good, man, and she's been into some wars herself. So I respect Cindy Dandois. But Megan Anderson is the wild card out of all these three women. I think Megan Anderson can definitely go in there. I think that she'll go the distance with Cris Cyborg because you're not knocking her out. Now, Megan Anderson, she's susceptible. She can be submitted, okay? She can be submitted. But not Cyborg doesn't rely on submission. She don't do that. Matter of fact, I can't even remember a fight where Cyborg even submitted anybody. So you know that the fight is not going to end in submission, okay? It's going to be a straight-up drag-out brawl. And Megan Anderson is a brawler. She likes to brawl. She loves that brawling tactic. She's rough and she's strong as hell. Megan Anderson is strong and she is a big girl. So this would be a good matchup. I think that if Dana White want to make a matchup, you get Megan Anderson in that ring, okay? It's time to call some of these girls up, man. It's time to call up your Megan. Megan Anderson should have been in the UFC, in my opinion. She should have been in there, okay? And that's the person who can fight Cyborg at 145 and make a good fight. It'll be a great fight, but you guys tell me what you think about this. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. What are you dudes waiting on? Subscribe. I'm done.